You are listening to the Critical Mass Radio Show, Orange County's business talk show, focused on exploring topics of interest to CEOs who are leading middle market companies. With your host, Richard Franzi.
Hello, and welcome to Orange County's longest running business talk show. And yes, I am your host, Rick Franzi. And boy, do we have a good show planned for you today. Why do you ask? Because our guest is Tom Wood. He is the CEO and founder of Silent Streams. Tom, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's get into it. Talk to us as the founder of your company. Take us back in time. What was the inspiration, maybe the motivation for you to start Silent Streams?
Yeah, I don't know if it was as much inspiration as it was necessity, actually. I was running in my other company, Patriot Supplies, which sells to the federal and state government, mainly the federal government supplies. And about 5 or 6 months after we opened the doors, COVID hit. And they sent all of the federal government employees home. And they were all setting up home offices and buying all kinds of supplies, but they weren't privy to the sources that their normal procurement officials used. So they were using Office Depot, Staples, box stores, retail stores to get all of their stuff. And it was extremely difficult. We had a lot of people on staff, and you start to feel that urgency as an owner, and you got a lot of people's lives at stake, and they need a way to put food on their table and make ends meet. So I kind of took a step back from the whole picture and took a look around and was really looking for some other opportunities for income to bring some money into the company. And one thing kind of led to another. I ended up kind of reconnecting with an old friend that I'd done some business with in the past. And he had a couple of programs that he wanted me to check out. And at that time, the FCC had released what was called the Affordable Connectivity Program. And basically it was a one-time donation so they could purchase a laptop or a cell phone or a tablet. And they got a monthly donation to help them out with the monthly bill for the connectivity on it. And we were able to take that program that the FCC had and kind of rework it, negotiate on the tablets, negotiate with the AT&T, T-Mobile on the service plans, and we were able to create a program that was entirely free. So for the first time, I was waking up in the morning, giving stuff away for free, helping people that really needed it, and making money doing it. And I hadn't realized it, but it had been a while since I'd woke up and been really motivated to go to work and really excited to do what I was doing for the day. And unfortunately, that it was supposed to be a 5-year program, and I think 2.5, 3 years into it, at the beginning of this year, actually in February, the FCC pulled all the funding on it and brought the whole thing down in one fell swoop. But yeah, it was kind of a slow transition, but obviously was looking for some new opportunities and some new ideas to put things together. And what ended up happening was that the ACP program turned into a few other opportunities that we started kind of lumping together as cost containment programs for companies. And ultimately, that's what became Silent Streams, was a company that does cost containment and value-added services for businesses without them having to invest any money or having to risk anything to see if it's going to work for them.
So let's talk about it. But before we do, I saw Haley brought Jessica Feldman's comment to the screen, and I'm not sure that you happen to see it, but thank you, Jessica, for not only listening to the show today live, but also taking the time to make a comment. It appears to be someone who's a fan of Tom's, which is totally appropriate for the show today. let us talk about Silent Streams then. So tell me about the business. What's the niche? What problems are you solving for your clients? And what type of clients get the most value out of partnering with Silent Streams?
That's kind of the beauty of Silent Streams. We have a bunch of different cost containment programs. We have ones that are specifically geared towards the healthcare industry. We have others that are geared towards self-insured or self-funded companies. Probably the most popular one is a program that we call Health Queues. And that's because if you're an employer and you have W-2 employees, doesn't matter if they're full-time or part-time, they're W-2, they're on track to make at least $17,000 for the year, which I think even minimum wage makes that. You're a candidate, and it'll work for any size company, whether they're small, less than 50 people, maybe even less, going all the way up into the tens of thousands. Mm-hmm. It's based off of a Cafeteria 125 plan, which is been around forever. It's been around since the late 70s, but President Obama kind of gave it a facelift when he came out with Obamacare and kind of reincorporated it into Obamacare. And it's the federal government incentivizing employers and employees to be more educated in the health aspect of things, to live healthier lives, to eat better, etc. The federal government, they fund probably in the billions of dollars, definitely in the hundreds of millions of dollars for uninsured or underinsured individuals in our healthcare system. So they're able to get information out to the public, and they incentivize them for doing it. And what we do is we use those incentives through the Cafeteria 125 plan to save the employers on money that they're spending on payroll taxes, because the premium for the plan is a tax deductible or pre-taxed. It's a pre-tax premium, so it's lowering the employee's taxable income by that amount. So the employer is paying less in payroll tax. Mm-hmm. Usually averages about $750 per employee for the year. So you got a company with 1,000 employees. It's a decent amount of money.
Yeah, it is.
And that's money that they've already budgeted for the year. So that's pure profit. It goes straight to their bottom line. If you're a publicly traded company, that's going to do a lot more than just go straight to your bottom line. That's increasing your stock value and what you're trading at, and just the overall value in the company. The C-suite likes it because they're getting bonused out on that stuff. So it's directly affecting their paychecks. And for the employees, it ends up being roughly $1,000 additional net pay that they get over the course of the year. So we don't charge anything upfront or anything out of pocket for the program itself. So they're investing nothing. They have no risk involved whatsoever. We have a third-party administrator that implements everything through their payroll, whether it be a payroll company or the company itself. And it's all automated through their payroll system. And every time they cut payroll, they're saving that chunk of money based on how many employees they have on W-2. But it's a very effective, and depending on the size of your company, could make a significant difference in your bottom line profits.
And if I understand correctly, the incentive is for those employees to do health-based things in their life. So there's also am I right, Tom, to say the employee, in addition to the financials, they actually get a health benefit out of doing?
Yeah, so there's three things that need to be present for a Cafeteria 125 plan. They have to accept health education on a monthly basis. Once a month, they're going to get a text or an email from Health Queues that's going to have some type of useful health information. Now, it's completely up to the employee whether they do anything with that or not. Right. Technically, they could trash it right off the jump, but most people actually do open it up, take a look at it, and hopefully they incorporate it into their lives in some way, shape, or form, because it's all useful information. It's all relative to day-to-day life. There's a limited indemnity hospitalization plan, which is kind of set up like an AFLAC plan, covers ambulance rides, ER visits, overnight hospital stays. Probably the one program, and then you need a W-2 employee with making 17 grand a year. Those are the three things that are necessary. Mm-hmm. We've rolled a bunch of other value-added benefits into it. There's all kinds of different stuff that's included in the plan that you have access to. No additional charge or anything. It can actually act as a MEC plan, a minimum essential coverage plan, if you need it to. It works for part-time employees, which is great for employers if they don't offer any kind of benefits to their part-timers. But one of the best parts of the program, I think the one that holds the most value and is the most useful for employers, is a part of it that's called WorkShield. And it's a company that was started by an attorney, and they do workplace mitigation. They handle any type of workplace misconduct. So discrimination, harassment, you name it. And they handle it fully end to end. So they're dealing with the reporting portion of it, the actual investigation part of it, and the resolve part of it. I think they've handled somewhere around 6,500 cases over the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. And not one of their clients has paid any litigation, attorney fees, fines, hush money, been sued, nothing. They have literally a perfect record.
Well, that's amazing, because that can be a very costly endeavor when you have those type of cases in your workplace. And unfortunately, they're all too frequent, especially with the larger employers.
Well, and with some of the legislation that's changed over the last couple of years, it's grown exponentially.
Yes.
They're clogging up courtrooms with these cases because everybody wants a free handout. Okay. And unfortunately, employers, especially private owned ones, are good targets. Mm-hmm. So
that's an exciting offer. And it sounds foreign because people may not know about the cafeteria plan, the 125. Maybe that's part of what you do at Silent Streams, is to educate them as to what the program is and how they can benefit them.
Yeah, the hardest part of our job is actually obviously, as always, getting people to listen. Everybody thinks that if it sounds too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
Yeah. Where's the catch? Come on.
Right. I pitched a gentleman a couple of weeks ago, and he didn't really know what he was sitting down to a meeting for. He had taken the meeting because it was a referral, et cetera. And when we got done with the demonstration for him, he says, "You guys really figured out how to turn water into wine."
Oh, wow.
He's like, "I'm impressed." So it's good to get the feedback that we get. The people that actually do sit down with us and take 10, 15 minutes out of their day to listen to what's going on, it's a no-brainer. I mean, if you have W-2 employees, it actually it costs you more money not to have the program than it does to have it.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and it's a win-win, because the employer benefits, the employee benefits. I mean, this is truly, yeah.
And we show them exactly how the money works. We show them where we get paid. Okay. So they know exactly, everything's transparent. I want people to understand, how all of that works. The better they understand it, then the more comfortable they are with it, the more they're going to take advantage of it. And word of mouth business goes a long ways.
Yes, it does. So let's shift our focus a little bit here on Critical Mass Business Talk Show with you, Tom. Is there a piece of business advice that you have received in your career that you could pay it forward and share with our audience today?
Wow, there's a lot of them. Probably the ones that have stuck with me the most. Don't have all of your eggs in one basket. If you got one business, one opportunity, one everything, nothing lasts forever, whether it be good or bad. And expand your horizons, have a few different revenue streams, have a few different things going on. And probably the most important one that had stuck with me since I learned it as a kid was learn how to replicate yourself and learn how to invest in other people, because it's always better to make 10% of 10 other people's incomes than it is 100% of your own.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really truly if you really truly care about the people that work for you or work with you, and you make sure that they're taken care of, you're always going to be taken care of. I think a lot of employers fall short of that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And you're a serial entrepreneur. I mean, from what I can tell of your career and what you've talked about on the show today, this Silent Streams is not your first rodeo, as they say.
No, I've been self-employed since I was about 18 or 19 years old.
Wow.
I took a corporate job immediately out of college, as I think every graduating student does or tries to. That lasted about a year. And I went to my degree is in commercial art. My minor was in business. So I used that for about a year, and I hit the ceiling at about 40 grand, and I was like, this isn't going to cut it. So I jumped ship and ended up working for myself. And when my ex-wife got pregnant with our first son, I tried to go back and take a normal, 9-to-5er. At the time, it seemed awful nice to go into work, put in my time, wash my hands, walk out the door, leave work at work.
Right.
And it didn't last very long. I was there for a couple of years, but I'm right back to where I started, working for running things.
Yeah. So as we talked previously, we're kind of getting ready for the show. Not everybody is cut out to be an entrepreneur, but it also sounds like in your case, Tom, not everybody's cut out to be an employee either.
Yeah, you find a lot of individuals that I feel like everybody wants a job, but not everybody wants to work for one.
Right.
A lot of people have the mentality kind of messed up in their head that they should be paid a certain way, and then they'll work for what they're being paid. And in all honesty, you need to work for what you want to show me what you're worth, and then you'll get paid for that. It's always a backwards mentality from the employee side of things, but I think if they changed shoes for a minute, I think they'd see it a little differently.
I spent a lot of my professional career in sales, and I liked it because I could somewhat control my income. I mean, there was a salary or some amount, which was nice, but that's not really where the money was. It was in the production.
Yeah.
And for a period of time, I had a non-commissioned job as I was doing like a management training thing, and it was a flat salary. I did that for about a year inside the same company before I went back out into sales, and I was like, this is so restrictive. I mean,
yeah, there's a lot of people that I've come across that will go from sales into management as a quote unquote promotion, and they want to go right back to the sales. They like the performance based. They want to be, like you said, more in control of their income and their destiny, at least as much as they can be.
Right. Yeah. Like entrepreneurship, sales, everybody's not cut out to be a salesperson either, because it's scoreboard, it's performance, it's results. Yeah.
It sounds and looks so easy from the outside looking in, but it takes a certain character, takes a certain amount of resolve. And I mean, you got to be a little glutton for punishment if you think about it, because you spend the majority of your time in your day being rejected.
Right.
So you got to have some thick skin, that's for sure.
Yeah. And be an optimistic person too. I mean, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe in your product, and you have to believe there's a yes out there. Every no is a step closer to the next yes. So you just got to keep working it, right?
And it's all perception. All business is perception. All life is perception, for that matter. I mean, it's all in what, if you're concentrating on all the negatives that are going on and all the bad shit in the world, then yeah, of course you're gonna have a bad time, and things are always gonna be negative. But I mean, when you're in sales, you're the house, you're Vegas. Numbers work in your favor. call enough people, you get in touch with enough individuals, you're gonna get paid.
Yeah, I used to tell my wife, they all can't say no. I just have to keep asking.
Yeah, you got to get through all the no's. They're the ones that get you to the yeses. So.
Exactly. Yes, and it gets you more refined in your pitch because you're figuring out what doesn't work, what didn't work, and
yeah.
I shouldn't have said that. I said that wrong, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah, it helps you cut through all the garbage at the beginning too, because you get hung up on so fast most of the time. If you're working a phone, you're like, okay, what can I say in about 15 seconds or less that's actually going to make sense to these people?
Yeah. I think every professional should spend a little time at some point in their life in sales to understand the science of influence because it serves you well.
Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%.
So with the time that we have left, I got a couple other questions for you, my friend. What's your view of artificial intelligence? Are you using it inside your firm? How do you see it evolving? Just what's your sense of AI?
I think that it's an unstoppable force at this point. The human race has gotten smart enough to develop ways to recreate ourselves and be more efficient and faster and more accurate. And I hope that we're able to stay in the same capacities that we are. I think that it's going to bring a lot of bad with the good. But I heard an individual the day before, within the last couple of days, he was in an interview and he's like, there's been lots of major changes that have come along over the course of the world in general, in business. The car, there were all these horse and buggies running around and all the people that took care of them. And then the car came and it's like, what are all these people going to do? Well, they're going to work on cars. They're going to build cars. Everybody's going to find a capacity. Are we using it? Yeah. Business wise, I figured get in early and get in good and take advantage of it as much as possible. So maybe by the time all these robots are doing everything for us, we can just kick back and retire and enjoy the wealth that we've made off of it.
Go to the beach.
Yeah, exactly. Start surfing more. But yeah, we have an AI program. It's set up for healthcare. It's a full end-to-end for revenue cycle management. And it makes perfect sense. You got all these hospitals out here that are making billions of dollars in some cases, running on 1% to 2% profit margins, if they're even above water. Some of them are working in the red. This program is literally able to come in and take over 70% of their RCM on implementation. And just by cutting down on short pays from the insurance companies and making sure that claims being submitted are accurate and all this different stuff, they're putting 10 to 20% profit margin back into these hospitals. And if you think about the numbers that are 10 or 20% of that that's big time profits straight to their bottom line. So is it effective? Yes, very much. But it's also freeing those individuals up in those departments to do more analytical jobs, to do stuff that they don't have time to do right now because they're too caught up in the day-to-day and the mundane stuff that needs to be done. So I think there's a time and a place for it. It's a little scary to think of how it's going to evolve because this didn't just come out of nowhere, but it sure seemed like it.
It did, didn't it? So let's talk about tomorrow, the future. What's your vision for Silent Streams?
I want Silent Streams to be a common go-to source for businesses. I want it to be something that people just know that if you own a company, everybody needs to save money when they're running a company. Everybody bleeds money in some way, shape, or form. And I want to be the company that plugs up those holes and is able to offer companies additional profits, additional containment, but also help out their employees at the same time. And a lot of our programs are set up to benefit both sides of the coin. So I want to be that kind of go-to source, that industry leader in that respect. But most of all, I want all my employees to be financially free, not have to be a slave to a desk and a chair and a computer, and enjoy what they do. And I think financial freedom goes a long ways with everybody.
Yeah, it's peace of mind. Yes. So if someone wants to connect with you, Tom, or learn more about Silent Streams, what should they do?
We are actually doing a bunch of upgrades to our website right now. Our website's www.silentstreamsllc.com, and it will be back up and live again here in the next couple of weeks. We're some much needed updates and whatnot. We have a LinkedIn page. Silent Streams LLC is a LinkedIn page. My personal LinkedIn page under Tom Wood. We're kind of in the midst of developing a lot of our social media. Facebook will end up having a Silent Streams page, and Instagram. Or you can just pick up the phone and call us, and we'll tell you what we can do for you.
Okay.
So
simple as that. Yeah. Old school, baby. Use the phone.
Exactly. It's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, there is. What's old is new again, right? Yeah.
Yes.
All right, my friend. I told you at the top of the show, ladies and gentlemen, we had a good one planned. And Tom, you did not disappoint. Thank you for being a part of the program today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
And thanks to the audience, Jessica, and the rest of you that are listening to us live, as well as those who will listen to us as a podcast in the future. If you're interested in being a guest on the show and you happen to be an Orange County entrepreneur or a nonprofit leader of an Orange County company, reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm Rick, R-I-C, Franzi, F-R-A-N-Z-I. And between Haley and myself, we'll be happy to work with you to get you scheduled to be on a future episode. Until the next time we all have a chance to be together, I hope all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.